plus Brandon. And I think he's going to have a lot of great opportunities to get the ball.
Is that what you respect the most as a linebacker and tight end, that it's a bigger body and the speed? One or the other, you probably feel like you have the advantage.
Yeah, so I think with him, like him being the same size as you, like, he can still get physical and things like that. But you got to be able to, run with him, and you can expect him to be pretty shifty and things like that coming out of breaks.
So we always thought that you were like an athletic linebacker. We had seen what you did safety, what you probably could do on the edge. Do you ever wowed by anything that Arvell does athletic-wise? Because it seems like he's right there with you.
Yeah, he's a very athletic linebacker as well. I think me and him probably the two most athletic linebackers in the country. So, super strong, super fast, can really do it all on the field. Like you said, we're pretty similar in terms of athleticism.
What do you think that brings to the defense that maybe you guys were doing 3 linebackers so much?
I'm not gonna say it wasn't there, but I think he brings he's very physical linebacker. He's very smart. I think all three of us are smart, but I think he reads stuff very fast. I think that's what makes him so good. He's reading stuff fast, reads his keys fast, and he comes downhill with a very physical presence. And he does a really good job at the point of attack in terms of like when he creates impact or creates a collision with the offensive lineman. He does a really good job with that. So I'm excited for him. He has a big year coming up.
So, I mean, it felt like last year on a defense that had so many names that people talked about. Cody was one of the people that maybe wanted a little bit under discussion. What did you learn about the linebacker position and how to lead a defense from him and from kind of playing next to him?
Yeah, Cody's one of those guys does everything the right way all the time. When guys are doing stuff the right way on a consistent basis, you can expect them to do the right things in the game as well. So something I've been trying to adapt for myself, doing things consistently on the right way every day, even the little things as well. He's a guy you can look to in the hard times where he's still cool and collective, and I feel like I've been kind of that guy as well. So it was great playing along him. He's a great player, super talented. Was very good at what he did. He was a professional, the way he carried himself and his preparation. So, excited for him in the NFL. He's going to do well.
I felt like early in your career, obviously, position change and things like that. How much more comfortable do you feel now compared to maybe just a year ago?
Yeah, I feel. Ooh, shoot! Why was that so loud? Yeah, I feel super confident. I think year 2 at the position, just getting more and more comfortable. Confident in what I'm doing. Just more so focused on what is the offense doing instead of like being focused on like trying to memorize my job and stuff like that. Like I feel like I got all that stuff down. I feel like I understand the defense at a high level. So I'm now starting to understand like what's the offense doing, what formations lead to what plays and things like that. So it's been going pretty well. I had a pretty good spring. Excited for camp. I say Kenyatta Jackson has done a very good job. Really excited for him. He's gonna have a huge year. He's a great dude. He does things the right way every day. He holds everyone accountable, including me. He obviously has all the tools it takes to be a monster at defensive end. So super excited for him. I think both the quarterbacks have done a very good job in their leadership roles. They're both stepping into that vocal role and exactly what you want in a quarterback. I think Austin Satterfield has done a good job as well. He does things the right way. Another high character guy. He's a talented player as well. He's gonna have a big year. Carnell Tate, like there's just so many guys you can name, like a bunch of great men, a bunch of guys who do things the right way and are also talented to go with that.
I think there's been kind of a recommendation amongst a lot of you guys that, hey, all those seniors walked out the door, we need to take our leadership.
Yeah, I think especially for Kenyatta. I talked to him a lot. I think it's a big thing for Kenyatta because he had JT, Jack, Ty Hamilton, Tyleek all walk out the door. And now you leave that room, now it's Kenyatta and Caden Kerr are the seniors. So I think those two guys, it's probably hit them the most because it's like, all right, it's time for us to step up. Like they've been here for 3 years. They've had the chance to be behind some really good defensive ends and Jack and JT. So I'm super excited for both of them, and I know they're super excited. It's a big year for both of them.
What is Kenyatta doing differently this offseason that just stands out to you?
His leadership presence is huge. I think, last year with those two in the room with Jack and JT, it's kind of hard for him to find his way in terms of leadership. And now it's like he feels like it's his time. I can tell his confidence is through the roof. His maturity is through the roof, so mature. He's just doing so well, man. I think he gained a few pounds. The dude looks like a first-round DN. Exactly what he's supposed to look like. He has all the tools, so it's going to be a big year.
Bo,
Yeah, Logan, CJ. Yeah, I think you have. I was just talking to someone earlier. Like the defensive end, that position. There's so much versatility there. You got size and Kenyatta, size, strength, speed, all that stuff. Then you got Bo, who's also another big defense end. You got Logan, who come in and can be very physical. You got Bo, who's like I said, he's another big one. CJ is very quick. Also still very strong. I don't know if people realize how strong he is, but there's so much versatility there. You got Caden Curry, he's just a baller. I've always looked at Caden Curry. He's just like one of those guys who just makes plays no matter where he's at. Kickoff, punt return. He's always making plays. So I'm excited to see him make some plays at defensive end this year. So there's so much versatility in that room. And, you got a bit of a younger room in the defensive tackle room. Like Caden McDonald's about to be a sophomore, I believe. Edric's about to be a sophomore. Will Smith's about to be a junior. Things like that. So that's a bit of a younger room, but I'm excited for them as well. They're going to do really well. I think we got a lot of guys who've been waiting their turn, and they're eager to play. And I'm excited to see what they're going to do, and I have a high expectation for the defense.
Sonny, what are some things, obviously, no holes left, going on to another job, but what are some lasting lessons that he gave to you in the way?
Yeah, I mean, I think you got to practice hard, and that's something he did. That's something Coach Day's instilled as well. But he was always very intentional with the way we practice and very critical in the way we practice. And I think it made the game easier. Like with him being he was going to be in your ear in practice, like when you messed up and stuff like that. And but that means when you got to the game, he always said before the game, he's like, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, all those mistakes are on you. But once we step in the stadium on Saturday, all those mistakes are on me. So you just go play. And I think that's something he instilled me very well. Like just, going out and practice as hard as you can. So on Saturdays, you can just be free.
How does Patricia challenge you to be better, or even just to see the defense from a different perspective?
Yeah, I think Patricia challenged me in a way of like, all right, you're at the point where you're smart enough to know exactly what you're doing, what everyone else is doing. Now I want you to figure out what's the offense doing. Like start seeing, all right, you see this formation, you see this shift, you see this quarterback looking this way. All right, you should just be able to start predicting like, all right, where's the ball going here and stuff like that. Because I think as a defender, especially as a linebacker, when you get to the point where you're no longer reacting, you're predicting what's going to happen, you can know what's going to happen. That's when you become elite. And I think that's something he's been challenging me with very well. And he's obviously had some very elite linebackers, so excited to get to learn from him.
What's one thing about Patricia that you notice about yourself that you have to learn as far as not just him as a coach, but his style of play?
Maybe you could say knowing multiple roles. It's kind of something I've already been used to a little bit, is knowing multiple roles. The same thing in this defense as well. But I think the biggest thing, like I was just talking about with him challenge me, is just hearing him talk about the game and the way he's able to comprehend the game and understand like what's coming next from the offense. It's been huge, and I'm just trying to soak in all the information I can. I would say for me at the linebacker position, I feel like I can do pretty close to like anything a coordinator can ask me to do on the field. I feel like I can play off the ball. I can read what's in front of me. I feel like I can cover. I feel like I can drop in the zones. I feel like I can run the deep middle in terms of like cover two and things like that. I feel like I can blitz. I feel like I can come off the edge and things like that. Not saying I'm perfect, but I think I'm pretty good at a lot of things. Still a lot of things to work on too, like cleaning up like missed tackles, cleaning up some zone drops, things like that, which I think I've gotten better at. But I think the versatility has been something that could separate me from other linebackers across the country. Who would play Coach Day in a movie? We got a long snapper named Colin Johnson. The kid's hilarious. He sounds just like Coach Day. Just like imitate some of the things he says in meetings. He sounds just like him. You could say he might look like him a little bit, so I know he'll be laughing when he sees this. Yeah, I think Oregon was a lot louder than expected. I mean, it's not like a huge stadium. Like I've been at Penn State, obviously our stadium and stuff like that, but they're very loud. Great atmosphere. I think as a defense, what stood out the most was just when you go back and watch the film, there was just so many plays where we weren't ready. Like cleats weren't in the dirt. Guys were talking as the ball's being snapped and stuff like that. So it's something we ended up fixing as the season went on. So that was probably the biggest worry leaving that game after you watched it.
What is your lasting memory of avenging that loss?
Oh, man, I just remember looking up in the second quarter and we were up by like 30 or 40, and I was like, man, I wasn't really expecting that. I was expecting a dogfight, but yeah, that was just a crazy game. I just felt like everything was clicking just how it was supposed to be. A lot of guys had a lot of good a lot of great plays.
With the new
No, I think with what I'm aware of is the NIL Go stuff. It's been pretty straightforward. Like you submit it to them and they review it, and it's everything. I mean, everything we do at Ohio State is pretty straightforward and it's doing stuff the right way. We've been doing it like that the whole time, so there hasn't been any trouble.
Coach Dave mentioned that there has been some deals for Ohio State players that were denied and that didn't get back to
Yeah.
But he wouldn't say how much. But among your teammates, has that come up in the last 3 weeks that someone said, hey, I lost out on how much money because they didn't get back to me, they denied me this?
No, I haven't heard anything, honestly. The only thing that's a little different is like you just won't get paid until they reach back and accept it. But I haven't really heard anything about anyone getting denied, honestly.
Sonny, you came in and played the role as a freshman in your freshman season. You know what it takes with TJ and with Riley. What have you seen from those guys that maybe makes you think that they could have a role at some point this year?
Yeah, I think the physical traits they have stand out when you just see them. They don't look like freshman linebackers, not at all. They're both about 230, getting close to 235, so they got big frames and stuff like that. They're both very physical, play the game physical way. But I think the biggest thing with getting on the field as a freshman is just can the coach trust you? And that's something they're working on right now. I think they're doing a pretty good job at it too, just earning Coach Laurinaitis and Coach Patricia's trust every day. And yeah, I think that's the biggest thing when getting on the field as a freshman. There's a lot, because when you come to Ohio State, there's a bunch of talented freshmen. Like a lot of guys, everyone has talent. And it's really, can the coach trust you to do the right thing when you're supposed to do it? Yeah, I mean, I think the Big Ten is the best. It's the best conference in football. You got teams top to bottom. Every week's a battle. There's no easy wins. Like I remember we played off the bye week playing Nebraska. I think they had just got blown out by Indiana, and we're in a dogfight with them all the way down to the end. So it just goes to show you every week's a battle. There's no easy wins. I think there's just so many good teams in the Big Ten, and yeah, it's a tough conference for sure. Yeah, I think that's what we trained for. I think Coach Mick, our strength coach, and Coach Day prepared us for the physical battle was going to be. You know, we knew what it was going to take, and so our bodies were ready for it. And I think Coach Mick does an amazing job in the off seasons. He prepares us for that. We get the amount of yards we need to get to prepare our bodies. We lift the weights we need to prepare our bodies for those kind of things. So it's not really as much as a beating. Obviously, guys run into the walls when they hit injuries and stuff like that. Like stuff like that sucks. But I think Coach Mick does a great job for us to be physically ready. And there's also a lot of different recovery throughout the season that he makes sure that we're on top of.
Sonny, when you look at the schedule this year, the Penn State game is kind of a different point there. What stands out about that offense, specifically matching up with Drew Allen against
Yeah, I think they got a lot of experience on the offense. Drew Allen, I think this is. Correct me if I'm wrong, I think it's third year starting. So been starting for a while, a lot of experience. 2 running backs, very experienced, very talented. I know they lost a tight end, but they always have good tight ends. The offensive line's experienced as well, brought in some receivers. So I think, when you look at a good football team, usually, a team competing for a championship, they usually have experienced quarterbacks. So I think that's the biggest thing that stands out to me. He's experienced, he's talented, he knows how to run an offense and stuff like that. I'm sure all the guys over there have ultimate confidence in him. So it's going to be a tough match.
specifically with his physical talent? What does he do well? What is it about him that scouting?
I think when you just look at the frame of him, he has the ideal frame of a quarterback. He's like 6'4", 6'5", he's like 230 or something, 240. He's a big guy. He can take a hit. He's tough. He's not afraid to pull the ball down and run. The arm talent's there. He can throw the ball as far as he needs to and stuff like that. I think he reads the field pretty well. But it'll be an interesting matchup. Can't wait for it.
Sonny, you see the defensive tackles in front of you. Linebackers. What do you think of them right now? Their progress, and do you think that they're going to be able to what you guys need?
Yeah, I have ultimate confidence in them being everything we need them to be this year. I think they're going to exceed expectations. I know they have a chip on their shoulder in the defensive line room. They have something to prove. We lost 4 starters, and I know people are probably looking at the D-line with a question mark, but everyone in the building, we have ultimate confidence in those guys. Specifically with the D tackles, Caden McDonald's a monster. I think he's one of the best nose tackles in the country. Edric Houston's a guy that came in at DN, and now he's playing 3 tech. and the way he's able to put on weight and hold it in a good way and still be freakishly athletic. He's a great athlete, and he's going to be a great player. And then you got Will Smith. I think Will Smith probably been one of the guys who took the biggest jumps this year. He's looking like an absolute baller, so I'm really excited for him. And then we've got a few other guys that are just trying to find the way, like Tywan Malone's another guy. He can be a baller. Jason Moore's another guy, about 6'4". It's like 315. He's got all the size, so I'm excited for him this year as well. But, yeah, I think the defense line has a chip on their shoulders. And
As the leader of this defense, have you found yourself pushing that group, knowing that they need to have a chip on their shoulder, need to be at the level that those guys were last year for you guys to reach what you want to do?
yeah, I mean, I think everyone in the building knows it. I mean, they've told us, we've told them, like, hey, like, if you guys aren't elite, we're not going to win. And that's on both sides of the ball, offensive line and defensive line. It starts in the trenches. So if those two position rooms aren't elite, there's pretty hard to win a national championship without those two units. So I think they both know that. Both units know that. And I think they're both going to have a good season. I'm super excited for them.
So on the field, Jeremiah, he is what he is, pretty considered talent. How has he handled kind of the stardom and everything that comes from a player, especially being so young, covering video game, accolades, all this kind of stuff? How has he handled that?
Yeah, man, Jeremiah's a super humble kid, man. Quiet guy. With all the attention he gets, you would think he'd be like super full of himself and stuff like that, man. He's so humble, so quiet, just puts his head down and work. That's what I really appreciate about him the most, man. He doesn't act like he's a big superstar, even though he is a superstar. It's I think it's fair to say that, but yeah, he works so hard. He puts in all the work. He has all the physical capabilities. He probably wouldn't have to work hard. He'd probably still be pretty good, but he puts in the hard work, so that's why he's going to be elite. And yeah, he handles all that stuff very well. I think for us, it's just taking this year and attacking and proving all the doubters wrong. And, not living off last year's national championship hype. We're not looking at us coming into the season like, hey, we got to defend our national championship. We're looking at it this year like coming into the season like, we got to prove something. We got something to prove every game, put a chip on our shoulder. And, yeah, I mean, it's kind of the reason for us, like, trying to, step away from, like, last year's national championship and the science and stuff like that. Really just trying to stay focused on the future. And, leaving a legacy would be, going and completing our 3 goals. Because since I've been here, we haven't completed those 3 goals in the season. So, being that team up north, winning the Big Ten championship and winning a national championship. Yeah, I think everyone in the building has made a point to tuck that stuff away. Obviously we can enjoy that and hold on to it forever. No one can take that from the 2024 team, but it's a new year, it's a new team. This team's got a lot to prove. I know we started this year. We do a meeting in the winter every year, and that meeting was talking about, reinstilling our culture and rebuilding our foundation, the foundation of our team, because the foundation we have last year isn't going to work this year. It's a completely new team, new foundation, so we got to build that up. Yeah, Coach Fisher's a good coach. He's a great coach. Obviously he's won some Super Bowls. He's had some really good linebackers under him. It's pretty fun watching film with him, seeing all the great players he's had. I think what excites me the most is just him. He's going to put us in position to make plays. Whatever guys are good at, he's going to get them in that spot to do those things. So it's going to be a super exciting year. Yeah, I mean, being aware of the Block O would be an honor. I think the biggest thing, obviously, wearing the Block O is about like the integrity and the character of a person. But I think for me, just seeing the guys that wore that number before me and like, having a personal relationship with them and knowing the kind of men they were great men. So for me to be able to wear the same number as them, that would be an honor.
What's it like being able to tune in with Coach Laurinaitis, knowing you have Coach Hartline on the other side of the receiver?
Yeah, man, there's so many elite coaches on the staff. I mean, you got former Buckeyes, like you just said, Laurinaitis, Hartline. You got Coach Devin Jordan, former Buckeye, Tim Walton, former Buckeye, a bunch of NFL experience. But with Laurinaitis, I think with him playing the position and being very elite at the position, you walk down the hallway, you see him on all the awards. He's just got so much information, man, and he just understands what it's like to be a player and a player at a high level as well. So I'd say he's definitely a player's coach, just being the understanding of like mistakes are going to happen, things like that. But you're still striving to be elite every day, and he's been great. He always lightens the mood up a little bit, help you relax before games and stuff like that. But he's just got so much information and just trying to soak it all in.
With your athleticism, how many times do you get a chance to kind of match it up with Jeremiah guy in practice to some of the other receivers?
We do a lot of different competitions in the off season. So we're all. What was that?
To win,
I don't like to boast on myself, so I'm not gonna say it. But we got a lot of very athletic guys on our team. So we're all competing at stuff all the time, no matter what it is. What was that? Yes, I think you asked me about Arvell. Yep.
yeah, are you happy with your NCAA rating?
Yeah, it's pretty good, man. Didn't expect too much, so could be better, could be worse. But it doesn't really matter that much to me. Yeah, I would say though, like, I think it all starts with Coach Day and the leader he is. He's an amazing leader, and then with Coach Mick, I think the strength coach during the off season, like that's like one of the biggest impacts on a program. And obviously he's the best of the best, so he does a great job not only with just training us physically, but like the mental part of like bringing us together as a team. And I think the environment he's created is you're either going to buy in or you're just going to feel like you don't belong. So a lot of guys, you're obviously going to buy in so you can feel like you belong and stuff like that. But yeah, Coach Mick and Coach Day, they do a great job. Coach Noah is a great coach. I'd say he's a very smart, intuitive thinker. He has so many great ideas with the way he thinks of different ways to do defense, whether it's disguises or different blitzes and stuff like that. I think he's like a perfectionist, but he understands you're not going to be perfect, if that makes sense. So he's just striving to be perfect, but knows we're going to come up short of that. But yeah, he does a great job. So I think he's going to do a great job at Penn State as well. What was that? What are you talking about, just in terms of today? Or in... Oh. I was... Yeah, I would say this team has a lot to prove. I think, you come off national championship, I think guys are just looking to prove something. I think a lot of people are doubting us a little bit. We lost a lot of great players. So we got a lot of people who, their time's finally here. Like I was just talking about with Kenyatta and Caden Curry. They're behind JT and Jack for a while. Carnell had Jeremiah and Emeka last year. Now he's going to be one of the main guys. You got both those quarterbacks. They've been waiting their turn. Guys on the offensive line, defensive line, all across the board, safeties, Arvell as well. Like there's so many guys that have been waiting their turn, and I'm excited to see them go. They're hungry, as you would say. They're excited to go prove something. Yeah, it means a lot. Like I was talking about earlier, like there's so many great men that wore that number, and to represent the Block O, represent what it means to be a Buckeye, it mean the world to me for sure. Yeah, learning the story about Mr. Willis is it's pretty cool. So it'd be an honor. There's so much history behind that number. Yeah, I think as soon as we did our New Year meeting in the winter, so that's like every meeting, team meeting, everyone has assigned seats, and then when you get to a new year, everyone has new assigned seats. So it kind of shows you moving up the ranks in a way. So when you sit in those new seats, that's as soon as you hit those new seats, it's last season down the drain. You forget it. You get to hold on to that forever. But now you're focused on the new goal. Yeah, I think they're both elite. Jalen McClain and Malik Harford, they're great players. Both have some solid experience for young guys. Like Jalen got the chance to play when Lathan was hurt. Malik got the chance to start as a freshman. So they both got a little bit of experience. I think they're both very smart. So it's gonna be a tough matchup. But I think it'll make the best out of both of them. Yeah, I think. Yeah, I think the thing with the offense last year was just so much different pictures. Like you're getting so many different looks. You had the tight end with the wildcat and stuff like that. So you had to just prepare for a lot. And then you also knew it was going to be a physical matchup. They're going to run the ball right at you and stuff like that. They're going to take some shots downfield with Drew. So I think the biggest thing with them, though, is there's just so much different stuff you have to prepare for, and I think they do that on purpose, kind of get you off your game a little bit. But, yeah, they're a tough team to play. What was that? Yeah, I think they're probably going to be, they're probably natty or bust this year. That's how they're feeling. They got a lot of guys who came back for their last year, and Drew and the 2 running backs. I know they got a few guys on the defense that are in there last year as well. So I know they're going to be a great team.
How impressive is that for you to see a kid who's from South Florida come in after a year and kind of get it so quickly?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not surprised with the kind of person he is. He loves Ohio State. I think he loves, being a Buckeye. It means a lot to him. He could have went to a lot of other places just like the rest of us. So, a lot of guys are bought into that rivalry. It means a lot to us.
How does that game move? I mean, obviously you guys won the national championship last year, but like you mentioned, how does that game kind of move for you guys this last season, knowing you did win the national championship, but that the Big Ten?
Yeah, the goal is to win that game every year, plus the Big Ten and the national championship. So, went 1 for 3 on that one. But obviously we got the biggest one. But, in my 3 years being here, we haven't accomplished those other 2 goals. So, I mean, that's the goal this year, to go get that done, plus the national championship. But I think we're just excited, ready to go put it all out there. I think Coach Day's done a good job this year talking about, surrendering the outcome, not being afraid of losing, no fear in not achieving the goal, just going out and doing everything you can to achieve the goal.
Does that game, I mean, the last couple of years, folks in the playoff, obviously, everyone's want to talk about it being kind of down, I guess, what the postseason has like. Does the emphasis of that game not change, obviously, the importance, but does that change when the playoff considering what you guys think?
No, I would say the game is still the game. The ultimate goal is to win a national championship, but the game is still the game for a reason. So there's nothing that can belittle that game. When you lose that game, it still hurts. Winning a national championship was amazing, but it still hurt to lose that game. So it's called the game for a reason. Yeah, I mean, I think if you're an elite player or you're striving to be an elite player, you have to be a bit of a perfectionist. So going back and watching all the things that you didn't do well or didn't do good enough. I know for me, just watching stuff like a few missed tackles here and there, or like zone drops not being as clean as I want to, or maybe I could be better pass rushing, things like that. There's always so much to work on, and then also just staying hungry in terms of yes, we won a national championship, like I said, but we didn't complete 2 of the goals we wanted to complete. So there's something to stay hungry with that alone right there. Yeah, I mean, maybe some of the guys who didn't play, I think it still stings just the same to not win that game. And I think now it feels like it's their time to go win the game. Like it's their chance to go and have a direct impact and have a bigger impact on that game.
You mentioned before feeling like some people have doubted you guys. Kind of what maybe you've seen out there makes you feel that?
We'll say it again, I'm sorry.
You mentioned before feeling like some people have doubted you guys. What have you maybe seen out there?
I just know it's the way that works. We have a great team like that. We just won a national championship. You see a lot of guys get drafted. It's like, oh, man, they got a lot to replace, like who they have. So, I think not too many people outside of the building know exactly what we have. So we're excited to go show the world exactly what we do have. So a lot of great players. I would say, in terms of receiver, he's the ideal athlete. Like, as big as you can get, 6'4", heavy as you can get, about 225. He can run, he can catch. Yeah, I would just say he's like the ideal, like when you're trying to build a receiver in a lab, that's about what you would get right there with him. What do I think about that? What? Yeah, there's a select few guys who could probably leave college after 1 year. He's definitely one of them, but the rule makes sense. I think you should take those 3 years, turn into a man, because a lot of times when kids get to college, they're still boys. Like, you walk into college, like I was a boy, I was 17 when I came into college, and I'm still pretty young right now, but I feel like I've grown into a man. So I think those 3 years are definitely key for players. Yeah, we got a pretty young group with us here in Las Vegas. Yeah, obviously it's super special to be able to play with my brother at the highest level together. Very few people get to experience that, especially at the highest level here at Ohio State. So, definitely going to cherish that. I think with my dad, the guidance he's provided me it's been very crucial. I've been able to sit down and watch film with him and stuff like that. And obviously he played in the NFL. He knows what that's like and what they're looking for and things like that. So he's been a great resource for me. I'm super blessed to have him in my life. Yes, sir. Man, I think Lorenzo, scouting report on him, he's a freak athlete. He's probably going to be like one of the most athletic nickels in the draft this year. He can cover. He can run with anybody. He's very smart. He studies the game very well. He can do just about anything you can ask from a nickel, so super versatile as well. And he has ultimate confidence in himself, and that's what you need when you're playing DB. You got to believe you're the best, and can't nobody catch a ball on you. Thanks, Josh.